Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're looking at a band called Skarlett Riot. Excuse me, not heard of them before, so obviously did my little bit of research as usual. Now, there wasn't really actually that much information about them, so I've found what I could. And what I've got is Skarlett Riot is a British hard rock band formed in Scunthorpe in 2010. The band members actually met for the first time in school, where they created the band and were known under the name of Fusion. A short time later, they renamed themselves Skarlett Riot and produced their first EP, which was released on the 4th of November 2010. 2 years later, they released the EP by the name of Villain, with which they actually gained their first big following. In 2013, they released a single called Faded Memory, which can be found on their debut album Tear Me Down, which was released that same year. So really, there isn't that much information about the band, unfortunately. Now we're going to be looking at a track called Broken Wings. I do have some lyrics here. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to sound like. I mean, it says they're a hard rock band, so I'm not expecting anything too heavy, but we shall see. I have been surprised before. So yeah, let's jump into it. So this is Skarlett Riot, Broken Wings. Let's have a look.
As I stand outside alone, rain pouring down on me, I look around only to see a shadow reflection of me. And all I am, and all I ever was is gone, stolen from me. Oh, why can't you have these broken wings and let me fly again? Or give me the courage that I need to walk away from
Well, there you go. Broken Wings by Skarlett Riot. I had actually intended on pausing that song halfway through. I didn't realise it'd be over so quickly. But a very, very good song. You know, very well performed. She has got an astoundingly strong voice. She's got a really powerful voice. And, you know, she sounds great. The music is really, really good. It's fairly heavy, but obviously, you know, this is hard, heavy rock rather than metal. But, you know, still, it was pretty heavy for, you know, for hard rock. So, yeah. Now, the song itself, if you know, it was a lyric video, so you probably gleaned a lot of information from it, but it seems to be someone who's broken from either a relationship or even just from mental health itself. I'm not entirely certain. And she basically pleading for someone to help her put herself back together, you know, so that she can live life again rather than dwelling in this, you know, in this misery that she's found herself in now. So it's pretty straightforward meaning to the song. You know, it's not like a hugely deep song, but you know, still a pretty good meaning. You know, helping someone through tough times to sort of rebuild them back to the person they once were. Something that I always encourage in people, because you know, I've been through really, really hard times myself and didn't really have that many people around me to help me. But every time a friend of mine has been in like a bad situation like that, I've gone to the extent of my abilities to try and help them, to try and cheer them up, to make them feel better about themselves, to do whatever I can to aid them in getting back to how they used to be. Now, the song goes, as I stand outside alone, rain pouring down on me, I look around and only see a shattered reflection of me. So, you know, that's essentially an image of her in her misery, in her hard place, you know, standing there in the pouring rain, and when she sees a reflection of herself, it's not who it used to be, it's fragmented, it's broken, you know, it's not what she's used to seeing, you know, it's a broken, distorted version of who she was. And all I am, and all I ever was, has gone, stolen from me. Why can't you mend these broken wings and let me fly again? Give me the courage that I need to walk away from it. So there was that, all I am and all I ever was has gone, stolen from me. So she recognises, you know, the person I used to be has been essentially destroyed. I am not the same person who I used to be. I am broken. And then came in that chorus, why can't you mend these broken wings and let me fly again? So why can't you help to fix me? Why won't you help to fix me? Why won't you, you know, try and lift me out of this funk that I'm in? You know, to give me back my self-respect, give me back my courage, give me back, you know, my reason to fight, you know, and walk away from this situation, you know, get away from this situation that's making me feel so bad, that has essentially destroyed me and broken me to pieces. It carries on. I can't let go, but now I know if you mend these broken wings, well, I could fly again. Take me away from here, because in my heart I know I was left behind, always left behind. Each part of me just fell apart when you walked right through the door. Faces that I knew so well, well, I don't know them anymore, no more. So that, in essence, makes it sound like maybe a relationship that's gone bad and it's left her broken because maybe she absolutely adored this person, and they've turned around and broken her heart, and it's destroyed her life because, you know, that person is no longer there and she doesn't know what to do. And all these people that she once knew as friends now seem like strangers to her because maybe they've taken the other person's side, or, you know, they just essentially deny knowing her, you know, denying her existence because, you know, they don't care about her as much as they care about this other person. Why can't you mend these broken wings and let me fly again? Give me the courage I need to walk away from this. I can't let go, but now I know if you mend these broken wings, well, I could fly again. I'll take these broken wings, I'll repair them myself. Well, I just want to feel. Again and again. Oh no, well, I just want to feel again and again. Why can't you mend these broken wings and let me fly again? Give me the courage that I need to walk away from this. I can't let go, but now I know if you mend these broken wings, well, I could fly again. So, you know, there was a line in there, it's like, if you'd mend these broken wings, well, I could fly again. but I'll take these broken wings, I'll repair them myself. It's like, you're not going to help me, you're just going to ignore the fact of what you've done to me, you're going to ignore the fact that I'm in this broken state, that I'm at the lowest point in my life and you don't care, so I'll do it myself. I'll find the strength within myself to put myself together to walk away from this bad situation that I'm in, that this person may have inflicted upon her, And, it's a regular thing, like when friendships or relationships or whatever come to an end. You never think about how that's affected the other person. Just because you no longer are in love with that person or whatever, just ignoring the effect that you've had on this person and how your lack of presence has affected that person. It's really quite selfish in its own way, because to that person you might have been the biggest thing in their life. You might have been the most important part of their life, and then you've suddenly gone and removed yourself, and you've just left a massive void in this person's life, and they don't know what to do. You emotionally, and this person is going to be broken. So it's quite a nice song. I like it. I like what it means. Help people that are in bad situations. There's if you see a friend that's suffering with either a mental health issue or they're suffering a great loss, like either a death of a family member or a friend, or even just a breakup in a relationship, it's being there for someone is one of the nicest things you could possibly do. Just letting somebody know that you're there to help them, to support them if they need to talk to you. Just ignoring someone's pain and suffering, it's a horrible thing to do. They might go through it on a regular basis, and you might sort of be like, oh god, they've done it again, and you might get sick of it. But being there for someone when they're going through something that's essentially destroying their life, making them feel so miserable and low, being there for someone is one of the best things you can possibly do. It might be stressful on you, it might be exhausting to hear it over and over again from the same person. And believe me, I've been through it as well. I've had a few friends who get into relationships and drop out of relationships, and oh, I'm so miserable, I'm lonely, I can't cope anymore, blah blah blah. And then they get into another relationship, and then within a couple of weeks that ends, and then they go through the cycle over and over again. I've had friends like that, and it does get exhausting listening to them constantly saying, oh, they've broken up with me, I can't cope anymore, I can't deal with it. It does get a bit exhausting, but regardless of that fact, if that person is your friend, if you care about that person, be there for them. You don't have to be attentive to them 24 hours a day. They do have other friends, but be empathetic, be sympathetic, try and help them in any way that you can. Just ignoring it, if you just ignore someone's cries for help and pleas for, someone to talk to, if something bad happens to that person, if they end up injuring themselves or even worse, that's going to constantly play on your mind, what could I have done? I should have done something, I should have seen this coming. So, for the sake of them, and essentially for the sake of yourself, in one way or another, you're never too busy to help someone if they are suffering and struggling. So, I like the way what the song's talking about. And like I said, it was beautifully performed. Like I said, she has a great voice, very strong, very powerful. Music was a lot heavier than I expected, but still very, very well performed. I would be interested in looking at some more of their stuff, see how their music varies throughout the different tracks. Maybe there might be something heavier than this, I don't know. But yes, pretty good song overall. I quite like that. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. Drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or even through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel and help me create future content. There is also an option there. If you have a suggestion, you can have it jumped to the front of the queue. There are a couple of limitations on that, like with the frequency with which you can make these suggestions, and that's just to be fair to people who have suggested tracks through regular means. And those who have suggested tracks through regular means, through Facebook, Instagram, and the like, do know it might take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I get suggested so many tracks every single day. My list grows faster than I can record the videos, but I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those involving people of the alternative culture. And it's something that I believe in very, very strongly, something I'm very, very passionate about, because, you know, it's something I've been through myself, and it's something that needs to be spoken about a whole lot more, because it's happening every day all over the world. People are getting violently attacked just because of their taste in music, because they listen to alternative music, or because they're wearing like a band t-shirt with a heavy metal band on it, or something like that. You know, it's happening all over the world every day, and nothing's getting done about it, nothing's getting said about it, and that needs to change, because it is a very real problem. It's a very big problem, you know. And you know, every day we hear about all these other crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia. You know, we hear about these every single day from every point on the spectrum, from the most heinous and violent of crimes to people getting murdered just because of their skin colour or their sexual preference, or, you know, their gender identity, and down to like the most minimal of these crimes, where somebody's like shouting insults at someone because of their skin colour or because of their sexual preference. You know, from like the smallest, I'm not going to say most harmless, but, you know, no one essentially is getting hurt physically. You know, they're sort of being teased and taunted and getting names called at them, which is still really bad thing to do. But, you know, from the most minor to the most major of these crimes, we're hearing about them all the time. Yet we're not hearing anything about people that are getting so violently attacked because of their taste in music. And that is a hate crime. I've had people tell me that, oh, you lost me when you said hate crime. But no, it is. It's a hate crime. People are getting violently attacked by people who hate the fact that they listen to alternative music. They hate the fact that they're wearing alternative fashion. It is the very different definition of a hate crime. And you know, it's not getting spoken about as much as it needs to. Nothing is getting done. And essentially, the people that are perpetrating these crimes are getting away with it because of that fact. You know, the last time anything like this was widely spoken about was 12 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people. Violently attacked, viciously beaten, kicked, had their heads stamped on, and both of them ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he thankfully survived. He came out of a coma after about a week or so, I can't remember exactly how long. But Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days. 13 days. She was in a coma for nearly 2 weeks. She was that violently beaten, until she finally succumbed to her injuries. She died after 2 weeks in the coma because a group of people didn't like the fact that she listened to alternative music. I mean, they stamped on her head so violently that it killed her. She was murdered because of her taste in clothes and music. I mean, how petty and pathetic is that, to murder someone because you don't like their music? What music they listen to has no effect on your life whatsoever. So, what is the point? You know, it's not going to accomplish anything. Just because you don't like it doesn't give you license or an excuse to attack someone. But it happens all the time, every single day, and nothing's getting done. You know, some people are getting beaten so badly they're getting hospitalised, they're getting bones broken, and possibly even worse with invasive injuries like stab wounds and stuff. You know, and nothing's getting spoken about the fact that this is happening, and that needs to change. And, you know, this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to raise more awareness of the fact that this is happening. They want to stop it from happening. You know, What happened to Sophie Lancaster must never happen again. It should never have happened in the first place. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter die. And it needs to be spoken about more. So if you want to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their goal is, because they can explain it better than I can. And if you can help them out in any way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any way, even if it's like a small donation through their website or something like one of these Sophie wristbands from their web store, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can get more people talking about it, and the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.